Yo, what is up, guys? This is the Brickdo here, and today I wanted to talk about the new Volkswagen T2 Camper van, set number 10279. This set is slated to release August 1st, has 2,207 pieces for $180. So honestly, I really like this set. I like the original Volkswagen camper van, the T1, and so I just wanted to sort of talk about the two, kind of compare them, give my overall thoughts on the new one, and yeah, basically just go from there. Alright, so this new one here, as you can see, obviously it's the T2 camper van, not the T1, so the slightly, I guess, in the lineup of them, the second generation. And right off the bat, to be honest, I don't like the design of the T2 as much as the T1. I think for me, iconically, I just recognize the T1 a little more from both movies, TV shows, things like that. I think I remember in that 70s show, the T1 camper van being in one of the episodes, and it sort of just sticks with me. But then again, I do understand that, this is more strictly to what the actual T2 camper van looks like, and they can't just design something that looks, visually appealing. They have to make something that's also accurate. And I saw a lot of comments sort of talking about that too, that overall the T2 camper van, the overall aesthetic of it just doesn't equate to the T1. And I wouldn't agree with the fact that the T1 is overall better design. I just think a set from 2011 is just going to be a lot more bare bones than a set in 2021. And we can see this sort of play out in the piece count, 2,207 versus the 1,200 or so, or 1,332 pieces in the T1. And I think a lot of those, my main question basically from this set is when I heard that this is 2,207 pieces, I just, to be honest, couldn't believe it. It just, if I had to guess, it would be maybe 1,500 piece range. It looks similar to the T1, plus, has this sort of surfboard on the side, and I think two sort of pop-up chairs. But I can't see where the 2,207 pieces are. And I think that comes up in a few places where the pieces are. I think one is the walls. It's not using sort of this sort of brick built stack texture. I would say from the T1, it's using more of a sort of plates, almost sort of having like a strong integrity on the inside with sort of a plate structure on the outside to get some of those smooth tiles rather than just it being sort of straight vertical stacked up bricks. So I think there, and then also obviously the interior as well. And I do think a little bit towards the axles and the wheels and stuff like that, that looked like there were some more pieces in there as well. I would say one interesting note of this set is the fact that it does come with like a 332 page manual, which is very surprising when you consider it both in the context of just the size of the set, or just over 2,000 pieces, and also in comparison to the T1 camper van that just never had anything close to that size of manual. But obviously this is sort of the push towards the 18 and plus sort of line, and making it more appealing for more of a collector perspective as well. So to wrap up my thoughts here, I would say I do like the fact that we're getting an updated version of the camper van. I like the T1 styling more than the T2, but it's sort of a situation of what are you going to do? They're not going to just re-release a set they had on shelves for 9 years, and they have to update it somehow. But again, I think there is obviously a demand for this set, as seen by the previous one being out for so long, and obviously quickly after that seeing a release of the T2 camper van. And addressing the fact of the T2 just being not as appealing as the T1, I would have to agree with that. I think the styling towards the front of the T1 is just more iconic, and in my opinion, just a little bit more appealing. And sort of the third point here is the fact that, this is over 2,000 pieces, almost, 1,000 pieces more than the previous version. It just makes you wonder where those pieces are. And like I said, I do think it is more in the structural sort of walls and things like that, using sort of more of a plating technique rather than just stacked bricks. And also the more detailed interior, 10 years later from the release of the T1. And then thirdly, I think, it's going to be in that sort of axle drivetrain wheel sort of components. But yeah, pretty surprising that they were able to really add on this much to a set, 10 years later. I'm interested to see if this set will be out as long as the previous version. The previous version, I want to say it was in like the top 5 for the longest set to basically be on shelves or available from Lego. It basically had, the branding from the original sort of sculpture theming and sort of the pre-Creator Expert theming, and then it got the facelift with the new box for Creator Expert, and had many years on shelf with that, and ended up being about 9 years, about 2011 to 2020. Well, guys, that about wraps up my thoughts on the new T2 Volkswagen camper van. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, this is the Brick Duo signing off.